Hana years, a new day for older Americans, a time for living. Your host, Bob Barker.
Hi, and welcome to the program for and by the senior citizens of Hawaii. Our guest today on Hana years is veteran musician, singer, and showman, Ray Kinney.
Hello, Bob.
Ray, would you sing your theme for us, please?
Why, certainly. I like to tell a little story about this theme song of mine. I've used it perhaps now for 56 years.
56 years?
56 years ago, when I started to leave to go to the mainland like any other Hawaiian boy, I got very anxious about it. But after I got on one of the steamships going to San Francisco, half hour out at sea around Diamond Head, I got homesick.
Half hour out?
Yeah, I'm homesick already. And I wrote this song in 5 minutes. And this particular song, I've used it on both the Blue Network and Red Network of NBC for many, many years, from the famous Hawaiian of the Lexington Hotel. Perhaps some of you people would understand it, or perhaps you will remember it. Across the sea, and Isle is calling me. Calling to the wanderer to return, bidding me come back to fair Hawaii, to those sunny isles across the sea, across the sea, and Isle is calling me, calling to the wanderer to return, bidding me come back to fair Hawaii, to those sunny isles across the sea.
Ray Kinney and Across the Sea, they're synonymous, aren't they? I bet you get as many requests for that number as you do any other number, right?
I like to own 10 cents for every time I sang it.
Oh, boy, I'll bet.
Just a dime.
Just a dime. How long have you been performing professionally, Ray?
This September, I'll be 56 years.
Oh, 56 years.
56 years.
The same time as that you wrote the theme.
Last year. 56 years.
You're getting to be what age now?
I am now going into, I'll be 71 my next birthday.
Just past your 70th birthday then.
Yes. It's closer to 71 now.
Where were you born, Ray?
I was born in Kaumana, up in the heights, out of Hilo.
And did you grow up on the Big Island?
Oh, I grew up on the Big Island. I grew up in the Big Island until I was 15. All my other brothers, my sister were educated and sent away to school. My dad helped them and sent them to, and they worked their way. But my poor dad passed away when he was 86, and I was left there all by myself. But my mother, she knew that I wanted to go, so she said the hardest thing for me to do was to give up my dog, my little dog that I loved, and that little dog knew that I was going. And when she says, now, you have to leave the dog home, I'll take good care of it. And in its place, you take this ukulele with you. When you're happy...
This very ukulele?
Same one. Whenever you play it, whenever you want to play it, you're happy, you play it. If you're lonesome, you play it. And if you want to write a song or be happy and want to come home and just play the ukulele. And I played ukulele ever since then.
And that took you home each time you played it, didn't it?
So when I went away, I went to school at Salt Lake City.
Oh, you did?
I went to school in Salt Lake City, and I started professionally on an old Pantages circuit in 1916. And professionally, I started to build a little band there, and my brother joined me, and we opened a little band. And because the snow slides in Reno, the trains couldn't get there, and the big shows couldn't show up, so they wanted us to form a little band, and we started. And Pantages offered us to go right along and follow it. And so I built a band right after that and started to play in schools. And for instance, my first school dance was for the junior prom for the University of Hawaii. And a young Jewish boy by the name of Oscar. And he just passed away just the other day, we just heard. And then he said we needed some musicians. So he came to my brother and myself, and we both played banjos, and my brother played the guitar. And we sat on a piano and started to play.
Well, now, you were pretty young then when you started, weren't you?
15.
15?
Yes, 15. Actually, 16 when I started with my band.
Yeah.
Started to build a band. And then I continued. After that, of course, we started to play around, and I met a young man by the name of Red Nichols. And we started Red Nichols.
Red Nichols and his five pennies. Yeah.
Many, many years ago. And
he started in your band?
Yeah, I have a picture of him. And because of it, why, that's how I got started. We played it all throughout the Rocky Mountain section with the band, and we enjoyed it very much because we played to so many people. And then later on, I gave it up. There was a time that my mother passed away, and I came home. And I didn't sing for about 2 years. 2 years I didn't sing. I felt very sad about it. I never played a tune, and I started to drive for one of the oil companies and started to drive a big truck. And somebody found out that I sang, and Charles E. King heard that so he chose me as the Prince of Hawaii, and I took the leading part of Prince of Hawaii. And that's where the wedding song came. It actually was a love song. It was not a wedding
Not the wedding song. Just a love song.
Love song. But George Kalanipaʻau and I made the first recording.
And you sang what traditionally the woman's part?
No, I took the man's part.
Oh, you did?
George Kalanipaʻau sang the high falsetto voice, naturally.
Oh, I see.
He was the greatest.
Yeah, he was on falsetto. Well, listen, Ray, I want to hear as many songs as possible today.
Yeah.
So would you do one for us now, and then we'll pick up your career?
Yeah.
Will you do another song for us?
Yeah, I'll do one that I wrote in 5 minutes, another one.
Another one you wrote in 5 minutes, all right.
I tell you how I wrote that one, too, because I was sitting in the bathroom reading the paper.
Yeah.
Like we all do. And my mother-in-law went by, which I call my mother. I don't call her as my mother-in-law. And she says, what are you singing in there? I says, I'm reading the paper, Mother, and I can't get the verse. And she says, well, hukiakula, hukiakumai, and that's the verse. She wrote it with me. And Harry Owens, and later on, published it, and his name went on, too.
Yeah.
So, hukiakula, hukimai, hukiakula, hukimai, along the beach at Waikiki. A fair wahine is waiting for me, with the dark eyes and lovable charm, and very sweet Hawaiian hospitality. Beneath the moon we stroll along, and life is just like a beautiful song. When she whispers, come into my arms, it's just the old Hawaiian hospitality. And though my heart may sob to aloha when I sail away, how my heart will throb to the thought of coming back someday. And when my dream of love comes true, there will be old kolehau for two, a little welakahau might do. It's just the old Hawaiian hospitality. It's just the old Hawaiian hospitality.
Hawaiian hospitality. Ray, now you started out with smaller groups, I suppose, but you had a big band, didn't you?
Yes.
A good size.
A 14-piece orchestra.
14-piece orchestra. And that was just about the size of all the orchestras and bands in those days.
Well, I did that. I started with a 10-piece band, actually. Then I went to 12. The reason of it was I started, I couldn't play in theaters and play for background for these shows, these acts. And I started, and I wanted to go out, and I had the music company, O'Keefe, booked me. And O'Keefe booked me from the General Amusement Company and started to book me in all the theaters. But then he booked me for 18 solid weeks. 18 solid weeks, and I was just counting the money. I was really counting the money. And then a war came out, and the blackouts in all the theaters throughout the country. And
this was World War I.
President Roosevelt stopped and gave blackouts.
World War II.
Yeah, World War II. That's later on,
1940s.
1940s. And so I started to do, and of course spread the word of aloha. Aloha. And then today we find that when I opened the Royal Hawaiian Hotel many years ago, I was the first voice there.
You were the first voice at
the famous Royal Hawaiian Hotel. And I remember singing for Princess Kwana Nakor. She was sitting in this beautiful armchair, you know, and we came up, and Chick Daniels and all of his boys, the Back Boys, and Freckles Lyons, and all of them, Beach Boys. And we sang, and we opened the show. We opened the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. That's 1927. That's many, many, many years ago. And of course, ever since then, we continued with the music, and I later on left and went away to record. And after I was gone for a little while, and they sent for me, but I couldn't come home because of the first ship strike.
Oh.
I couldn't come home, so I stayed there. And while I was there, Crosby came up. When the first ship was out, he came back. Couldn't fly them days, you know?
Yeah.
And when he came in, he walked in the studio.
Bing Crosby.
Yeah. When he walked into the studio, he says, Ray, let me hear you. You're the guy that sang it. Let me hear you sing your way, your interpretation. So this is a song we got it from. See? Oh. Right there. No, it's a different key, see? Ole kena, oke kolopa, e holu ai, neki kala. And the song, naturally. Sweet Leilani, heavenly flower, late your fashion roses kissed with dew, and then she placed them in a bower. It was the start of you, sweet Leilani, heavenly flower. I dreamed of paradise for two. You are my paradise completed. You are my dream come true.
You mentioned you're connected with Bing Crosby there, and that. Didn't you almost connect up with Bing's brother, Everett?
Yes. He came to see us and hear us at the place called Seven Seas. That's when
in
it was
L.A.,
the most, yes,
Hollywood.
Most exclusive, beautiful nightclub, and used to open till late hours. Illegal, but you know.
Yeah.
All the movie people landed there, and it just happened that night Luella Parson was there that night.
Luella?
Yes. And Luella said, my gosh, Ray, you should be in this picture. Aren't you going to be in the picture? So Everett was there. Everett said, Ray, he says, why don't you come down? You and Lonnie McIntyre, all of you, George Powell, come on down. So that morning we were all sitting there, and when Bring came in and he says, who knows Sweet Leilani? He says, this is the song I want for the theme song. So one of the boys says, well, now he just came here. Maybe he knows it. So I got up and I sang it. And after I sang it, he says, that's it, that's the one. So we recorded it then.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh.
Before we put it in the picture, see, we taped it. And then the next morning, while in the picture, while I was rocking the cradle and Liqueur Girl was Sweet Leilani. Remember Liqueur used to be the Star Bulletin?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
years ago. And his daughter was Sweet Leilani. And every once in a while I see her, see? Then that's how Sweet Leilani was.
Well, now, what are you doing these days at the Hawaiian Village?
I teach ukulele.
You're teaching ukulele, mainly to tourists?
Tourists. And I get a very big kick out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's a way I come in contact with the tourist
all these people.
And these people I've met for years, heard me on the radio, and they look me up and they come over and they learn how to play the ukulele. And I teach it to them, and I guarantee it to them that in 15 minutes they learn how to play the ukulele.
15 minutes?
And they don't believe me. And I've had some women have learned, especially a woman from Australia.
Well, now you're telling legends there too, aren't you, during your lessons? Or
yeah, they talk and they ask me about legends, and I tell them legends. Especially a legend about Hilo, the land where the lehua blossom grows. You know, tourist directors go there and they say, please don't pick the lehua blossom from the ohia tree.
Don't pick it.
Don't pick it because it rains. But in Hilo, it rains all the time. No matter where you are, it rains.
Yeah.
So the legend goes where, as an old princess could not marry a warrior, so they had to go to the kahuna. And the kahuna said, well, there's only one way to do it, is both of you commit suicide. And each one hold your hands and jump over the cliff. And if you do that, why, if you cry and they pick you and they try to separate you, well, you can't be separated because every time they pick you from ohia, separate you from ohia, you'll cry. And the heavens will rain. And that is one of the famous legends of...
so picking the blossom, you're separating the lovers.
Yes.
Yes.
So today, you find every time you pick a lehua blossom, you pick it singing.
Do you have any legends about Madame Pele?
Oh, yes. We had an experience once of Madame Pele. I had a very, very, very peculiar moment. I was going up between the two mountains, the Saddle Road.
The Saddle Road, yeah.
Yeah. And going up over the horizon, you see these ohia trees with no leaves on them because of the lava flows, why they've all been stripped.
The dead
Yeah, the
trees,
dead tree.
yes.
So I thought, gee, that looks like, and it scared me.
This is at night in the moonlight,
Yeah,
huh?
it scared me, see? And a woman stopped and asked me, no, she didn't ask me, but I put on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, so that, and the first thing I heard was this Madame Pele, you know, chanting, and it just scared the life of me, see? And I stopped, and here this old lady asked me, she wanted again, and she wanted to puff a cigarette. So she wanted a cigarette, and I asked her, she come in, and she went to light the cigarette, and she lit it with this light, with the cigarette.
Oh.
Because she had the light.
She had the light in her hand.
Yeah, see. And it scared the life of me, see. And she says, my tires. No, she got in the car, and the tire blew out. See, the tire just gave me that big explosion, see? And this chant started, and she started to stop me, and she says, my tire blew out. She says, help me, help me. So I did. By doing that, we looked back, and that car would go backwards. And she was going backwards. She was telling me about it, backwards. She was telling me all about it. And you looked down, and the illusion, why, it felt like the automobile was going backwards. And then,
oh, that's that area over there where it looks
Yes.
like it's going uphill, but it's really downhill.
Yeah. So the poor whale started to fly. And the poor whale is my aumakua.
Oh.
And that's the aumakua. And right in front of my palm, in front of the old hotel, the Waimea Ranch Hotel, is an old palm tree. And she would fly. And the night of the big storm that came there, that poor whale was there. But the next day, I started Hawaii Calls. I had Hawaii Calls come up there, and I started Alfred Apaka. And from there, I heard him, and I took him away with me.
And Alfred started working with you. That was his first job.
And Alfred could not sing. He could not get an encore first time he sang because of his inferior complex, you know?
Oh, scared.
So I made him a bass singer, a bass player. And he played the bass. By playing the bass, he would get up there and start singing. And he was singing, and people would come by and stop. Alfred, please sing. And I'd call him Aholo. See? That was his name, see?
That was his real name?
Real name, Aholo. Alfred, Aholo, Apaka. So, Alfred, by doing that, I took the the bass away from him, and he started to lead the band. So I could take a vacation every once a week.
Oh, he took over the band for you.
Took the band, he started to MC the show, and that's where he learned and became very famous. Then he started to sing old plantations.
Yeah. They must have been. You were in on the beginning of Hawaii Calls then too.
Yes.
That's a long time ago too.
Yes. The first one. That's when Harry Owens.
With Harry Owens. Webb
Yes.
Edwards.
Yeah, Webb Edwards. See, I started that because they created the money, and that's when only Hawaiians were, and that's where Webb Edwards went out and got these boys that was working for the city and county, bus drivers, you know. And so they got on, and then they started to sing, and Al Perry started the group, and first thing you know, Hawaii Calls started.
Well, Ray, we want another song for you before the program ends from you. What's the latest one you've done?
Yes, the word aloha. The word aloha has been, well, they've abused the song, the word aloha. They keep saying aloha.
Yeah.
Aloha. And you know the word aloha. Aloha.
Soft.
In the morning you say aloha. In the afternoon you say aloha. In the evening you say aloha. When you leave your girlfriend at 10 o'clock at night, you say aloha wauia oe. Aloha wauia oe. See? So I wrote this song. Stars were shining like diamonds in the sky. Palm trees waving a lazy goodbye. That's aloha, Hawaiian style. Native faces, natives everywhere. Serenaders singing songs that fills the air. That's aloha, Hawaiian Hawaiian style. Take these leis of pikake, ginger blossoms so rare, and please wear these orchids in your hair. That's aloha, Hawaiian style. Lovely eyes say please don't cry. Come again and stay a while. Wear my lei and come back once more. That's aloha, Hawaiian style. That's aloha, Hawaiian style.
This is Bob Barker leaving you with this thought. Music, in the best sense, does not require novelty. Nay, the older it is, and the more we are accustomed to it, the greater its effect.
Across the sea, and Isle is calling me. Calling to the wanderer to return, bidding me come back to fair